Got bad news, folks. I think I may have identified the next taxpayer bailout that should infuriate all of us. And it's going to go by the names EIDL loans. We're going to talk about what they are, what might be occurring right now, and why someone, the taxpayer, might be left holding the bag. We're going to have this conversation with the concierge of small business lending, Mr. Bo Exty, man. Bo, how you doing?
I'm doing well, doing well. Just enjoying the new year already,
Yeah,
2024, ready to crush it.
there you go. Well, let's talk about EIDL loans. It's all over social media. Apparently, there is some bad actors out there looking for ways to massage reality to possibly get out of paying these back. I do have to admit, if that happens in mass or at all, the taxpayer is going to pick up the bill for these EIDL loans. So, what are they? When did they happen? And what are you seeing out there?
Yeah, so this was happened during COVID. It stands for Economic Injury Disaster Loans. There was roughly, from what I don't have all the answers on this, but there was like nearly 4 million small businesses and nonprofits nationwide received billions in government loans during this period. I personally know guys that own companies, like larger companies, they got $2 million EIDL loans. Like they were giving out a lot of money. Some of my friends, four or $500,000 EIDL loans. They're 30-year fixed rates at the rates 3.75. So it was cheap money, and
So 30, yeah, so 30-year fix, cheap money, no balloon, good debt. Okay.
so under a certain dollar amount, there was no personal guarantees. Apparently,
Interesting.
over a certain dollar amount, if there was collateral, they would take collateral. A lot of these, they were done so quick though, they did not take collateral on all of them. And so there's a lot of churn on YouTube right now. You can type in, EDIL forgiveness, hardship letters. So they kicked the can down the road. Like they were going to give you like 16 or 18 months in the beginning. I don't know the exact, and then they extended another 12 months, and just, so everything's getting kicked down the road. Now, if you go onto YouTube University, everybody's teaching how you can write these hardship letters and like, hey,
Oh,
you only need to pay 10% of, and then if it's under a certain dollar amount, well, I'm just not going to pay it, right? So it's the same phenomenon that happened during the downturn when everybody was doing short sales. Everybody said, "Oh, I'm just going to walk from this property and do a short sale because it just doesn't make sense." Where
man.
most people should have just, they didn't really need to. They could afford it, and it was just that kind of mentality just to do it. And it's the same thing is happening with these loans. And and I caution you, first of all, if you're in a position and you have a true hardship, you know, submit your paperwork and get an extension. But I would seriously take a look at this because, if you default on your loan and have even if you have a hardship, you're probably never going to be able to get any SBA financing again in your life. I mean, you're going to be kind of blacklisted. I think people don't realize the repercussions. I do think that it's really starting to implode right now. So I think there's going to be a lot of jurisdiction and that comes in. It has to, because all this money needs to get paid back at some degree. We can't just write off. Some people are saying, well, if it's under 100 grand, they're going to just write it off like they did PPP. So if you have a true hardship, it's one thing, but like to make up your hardship, people are like closing
Yeah.
down their LLCs just to get away from paying 150 or 200 grand. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, just think about the mentality, right? You go get a loan, you fund your business, time to pay it back, good debt, 3.5 through whatever it was, sub four, 30-year fixed. And because you don't want to, you're going to close up shop, shut your LLC down. And then if you get to be really kind of a bad actor, you'll just spin up a new LLC with a new EIN. And it's just, I don't want to see this. This makes me feel disgusting. People trying to game the system that don't need the hardship, aren't in a hardship. They're just doing it because they think they're going to get away with it. And oh, by the way, folks, we're all going to pay for this. The taxpayer will pay for this. This will go down if it happens in mass as another massive bailout that the taxpayer has to pay for. This is not good, in my opinion.
Yeah, and the regular normal SBA 7A express loans, those are great loans, and they actually really underwrite those and scrutinize. these EIDL loans, it was like they didn't look at anything really. It was just like boom, 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 and it was just so much pressure. They had to, solve the problem. What I think really happened is the money went to a percentage of it was complete fraud. You can go on the website, you can see how much there's billions of dollars in fraud in this. But additionally, the other money went to people that didn't really need the money, and I think that was kind of smart because they're the ones that will pay it back, because they have the money and they just use it. Like I know lots of people that I $2 million for like the bigger companies. Another guy, he got 450 grand that I know. And like almost every entrepreneur I know that's probably necessarily didn't need it got the money. So it always gets misappropriated, like to the people that really needed it. And then there's that fraud component, and now it's now going to be kicked down. It was already been kicked down the curb for 2 years, and now people are figuring out how can I like. So it's going to be a big, big implosion, I think, and they're going to have to put some legislation in place to get around this, because it's not fair for the people that pay their bills. Like, hey,
No,
if you
it's
took
not.
the
I mean,
money,
it's not fair. It's not fair that you're asking a taxpayer to play it up because you're going to game the system. So what I hope happens is this: it becomes a problem enough where there gets some government oversight, and they create what I'll call auditors to go validate true hardships. And hey, if you got a true hardship, the business went down, blah blah blah. So be it. But a lot of these are fraud, and I hope you eventually get got. I hope there's huge fines, and if possible, if it's true fraud, some of y'all go to jail. That's what I hope happens. And I don't like seeing the taxpayer put on the hook.
yeah, and also don't screw it up for everybody. SBA loans are really good to help small businesses start, launch, expand. Like this is the number one product that will help so many people. So if we screw it up, that's the stupidest thing we can do as a society.
Ugh. Knowing what people are like today, looking for a handout, there's going to be a lot of fraud, a lot of people gaming the system. And my hope is the government comes over top and creates a whole swath of auditors to go find the bad actors and punish them. That's what I hope happens. Bo, if somebody wanted to reach out to you about small business lending because you are the concierge, how do they do that?
Just go to onerentalmeeting.com, onerentalmeeting.com.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you.
Thanks.